Hey everybody, how's it going? Wayne Eulery here, host of the Thirsty Thursday show. Coming up here on October 24th will be our official relaunch date of the show. I say relaunch because Thirsty Thursday is something I've been doing since mid-2008. And while at the beginning it started as a way to reach out to people on a business team, on a team of mine, it evolved into much more. And so I'm looking forward to the future of the Thirsty Thursday call. I'm sorry, Thirsty Thursday show. I can't seem to get the call out of my my verbiage, because it was a conference call for so many years, and now it has evolved into a radio show, an online radio show that can be found in several different areas and growing, actually. Right now you can find us on iHeartRadio. So if you go to iHeartRadio.com, you go into the talk section under Spreakers, and you'll find us. You just look for Thirsty Thursday. I believe it is still titled Call. So you'll look up Thirsty Thursday Call on iHeartRadio at this time. I'm looking to get that changed to Thirsty Thursday Show here pretty soon. You can also find us on Spreaker. Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. Spreaker.com is another great place that you can find us. And we have a Thirsty Thursday show there, as well as Wayne's World, which is what I'm actually using to broadcast to you today, because I want to keep the Thirsty Thursday show line just for Thursdays, and everything else I'll do with the Wayne's World show. So, anyway, hope today you're doing well, and if you'd like to get more information and get connected to the Thirsty Thursday show, just text Thursday on your cell phone to 50500. That's right. Just get out your cell phone and text Thursday to 50500. You won't get any message. You'll only get one message, so you won't get spammed. You won't get random messages throughout the week or whatever. You'll just get one message that will connect you with our online channels. And so that way you can get connected with the Thirsty Thursday show coming up here on October 24th. You can also visit, for the time being, thirstythursdaycall.com. thirstythursdaycall.com, and you can get more information there regarding the show, how to interact with the show. We're going to be doing some really cool things where you'll be able to listen to the show at the site. You'll be able to call in from the site to be on the line in case you have a comment or a question or you want to interact with the show. And there'll be other ways to interact with the show via the website. So thirstythursdaycall.com will be an integral part in this whole show. And so for those of you that can access it via your computer or maybe even your smartphone, you're going to have fun interacting with us, with me there at the website. There are iPhone and Droid apps for iHeartRadio and Spreaker. So if you'd like to go into your app stores or marketplaces or whatever and search for those, it'd be great. Droid just launched a brand new app for Spreaker, so check that out. And just go in there and search for Spreaker or iHeartRadio. And when we go and broadcast live, you'll get an email, some sort of a notification from one of the apps potentially, and you can listen right from your app. So that'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And just to tell you a little bit about the mission of the call and maybe even the history of the mission of the show and maybe the history of the call, is that it was a conference call that I had been doing for years, every Thursday. It was 10 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time, which I'm not really sure what time we're going to do yet for the 24th. Stay tuned and I will announce that. But it was a call that we did every Thursday, and it was for a business that I'm in, and it was for motivation and inspiration. And it was awesome. I mean, we were at our peak when I shut down the call. We had probably the most listeners ever, the last call that we did. And I just shut it down, and there was some things going on that I felt I needed to shut the call down for, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And I've put a lot into the website and many of the social media sharing systems and other features that I've added to the call over the years. And I just began to think, okay, God, what do you want me to do with this thing? Where should I take it? Should I take it anywhere? Should I just shut it all down completely? And I really felt strongly this past Friday, while I was in a church service, that the Lord spoke to me and said, "No, Wayne, I want you to bring back the Thirsty Thursday show, but I want it to be for everybody." And I said, "Well, what do you mean you want it to be for everybody? It's not just going to be for your business partners or for people that you're in business with. I want this to be for the masses. I want everybody to have an opportunity to get on this show, to receive motivation, inspiration, and transformation for their lives." You see, my hope and my dream, my vision, my goal for the call or the show, or maybe even as all of the above, is actually God. His goal, his dream, his vision is to help people with motivation, inspiration, and transformation. I know I'm wearing those three words out, and I plan to from here on out, because the more I've thought about them, I believe that they all work together. And if you're excelling in all three, chances are you're really excelling in life, in areas with your family, with your work, with your business, with your church, whatever it is that you're doing in life. I believe if you have those three areas under control and you're excelling in them, you're unstoppable. And what do I mean by that? Well, with inspiration, I think, we see things many times, we hear things, especially in this age where there's so much information coming at us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. I mean, and those are just the major ones. You got blogs, you got, oh my gosh, you could spend all day online just trying to absorb a little itty-bitty part of the information that's being shared minute by minute online. And so in all that sharing and all that reading and all that perusing online, we get inspired from time to time, don't we? I mean, are there infographics, right? And is there an infographic that you've seen lately that's inspired you? Maybe there was a post about the current political climate right now that inspired you. Just think about it, And so, how many times have you been inspired, and you thought, man, I'm going to get more involved in politics now because I see how things are going and they're not going how I'd like them to go. I think I'm inspired. I think I'm finally going to take a stand, and I'm going to stand up for what I believe in and where I believe, our country should be going, right? So you're inspired. Well, now what? So you're inspired, and that's great. But in my opinion, the next step is motivation and even transformation. And so what do you mean by that, Wayne? Well, you can be inspired and you can be all excited to go do something, but chances are after a day or two, the inspiration might wear off, and you're just going to potentially go back to everyday life as it was before. And why is that? Because a transformation, in my opinion, hasn't taken place yet. So the inspiration was there, and maybe even a little motivation, but now we need some transformation. We need something to take place deep inside your heart, your mind, your spirit, your will, your emotions. We need something to take place there so that this new inspiration can continue to be fueled and can be acted upon. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where I'm feeling that things are going to be going, and I'm not going to just sit and talk about these three things over and over at each call. I'm going to have, or each show, I'm going to have guest speakers come on. I'm have a lot of great books that I can share content from. And so there may be an imbalance in other areas too. So maybe it's not that you lack transformation. Maybe that it's you lack inspiration. So maybe you've been through transformation and you just need some motivation now or some inspiration. And so this is what's going to be covered. It's a call designed with you in mind. It might be a little bit of a generic slogan or whatnot, but the whole concept of the call is that when people come on the show, and they're there to listen for the hour or however long the show is going to be, my goal, my hope, is that they're different than when they came on the show. Is that you experience inspiration, motivation, or transformation, or even a guide to all of those. Maybe it doesn't happen in one show. Maybe it doesn't happen on the show at all, but maybe a guide is given, or maybe some direction is given, and the individual that's listening can then the next day or days to come go forward and apply what they've learned. And there's going to be interaction and interactive things involved on the website so that you can take things to the next level. It doesn't just have to stop with the show. There's going to be more that comes after the show, during the show, and a community that will be built, a community of people that strive to excel in all three of those areas. So I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of a heads up or a rundown of what's to come on the Thirsty Thursday show. And we'd love to have you with us on Thursday, October 24th. At this time, I'm not prepared to share an actual time of when the show's going to air, but you can believe that it will be posted everywhere and shared as soon as that information is made available. And until then, I plan to do just a little show, just a little announcement like this, maybe every day that I can from now until the 24th. And just sharing some tidbits and a little bit here and there as we go. So listen, I hope that today you're blessed and you're prepared to go through or to tackle or to do whatever it is that God has for you. And what I'm going to do right before I sign off here is I am going to share really quick some words of wisdom. And let me just pull this open real quick here. I'm on my iPhone. Speaking of iPhones, I'm hoping to get the iPhone 5S here pretty soon. I do have an iPhone 4, and I did upgrade to the iOS 7. What are your thoughts on that, iOS 7? I don't know. Not too big of a fan. I love the functionality, but I think that the visual content is kind of poor. That's just my opinion. I think Steve Jobs would have wanted to do a much better job in making it a little more visually appealing. Okay, so here's what I want to share today. And I have an app, a Bible app on my phone, and it gives me a word every day. And today's word is 1 John 4:15. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in them, and they in God. Love it. Awesome truth. 1 John 4:15. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in them, and they in God. And it's funny because this show right now that I'm doing, I didn't prepare for really. I mean, I just opened up my phone right now to look at this. But it's interesting because it reminds me of last week's service at my church where the pastor was talking about how, in the Old Testament and at one time, in order to hear from God, you had to be next to a prophet, or he had to be there physically or nearby for you to hear his voice, or like Moses on the mountain or whatnot. But when Jesus comes on the scene, better yet, when Jesus leaves the scene, and he's resurrected on the third day, and the Holy Spirit comes on the day of Pentecost, from there on out, we now have the ability to have Jesus within us and us within him. It's an amazing thing that took place on that day. And I don't plan to do a whole lot of preaching right now, but I just read the scripture and it brought that up, and it's so true. That if anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in them, and they in God. This is Wayne Ulery on a Wayne's World show, preparing for the Thirsty Thursday show on October 24th. Looking forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye now.